And one last thing to touch on, he's going to be playing the Miracle Rogue, not the Druid, but one thing that can be tough when you're playing that ramp style with Wild Growths, sure, it's nice to get early Wild Growths, but it can be awkward to even play them because a lot of times you have to use that early hero power to clear minions, and it's tough to find it where you can fit it in. But regardless, we are going to have the Miracle Rogue start here. He does have the SI agent. He is going second, which is so annoying. The coin SI agent is so good. On that turn 2, being able to coin it out, it combos it as well. So that's on turn 2. He has a free kill here on this SI on this Bloodhound. Yeah,
he's going to be using backstab here. He wants to be stemming his damage as much as he can. More importantly to note is that he actually mulliganed an Auctioneer.
Yeah.
And I have to say that I disagree with that. Okay. Auctioneer is easily one of your critical cards in this matchup, or in almost every matchup for that matter.
Yeah.
And drawing one of them is important because you can go card for card with this rogue deck pretty easily, and you can even develop a little bit of card advantage, as you're seeing right here with this SI7 agent, but you're not pressuring his life total that much because you have to focus so much on killing his minions. So what ends up happening is this Zoo deck continues to just overextend without really any sort of punishment on their end, and they're able to use that advantage to just kind of card for card you and have the last card. So if you have Gadgets and Auctioneer in your hand, you can prevent that a lot of times. But it looks like, again, sort of true to the StrifeCro nature, he's going to focus very heavily on developing board control. He uses a preparation here, simply as just a mana acceleration effect, effectively an innervate here, and he's going to start pressing through for damage. So these two styles contrasting a lot in terms of how I would be playing Miracle Rogue versus what he wants to do.
That's pretty big. I mean, being able to
oh my gosh, the Blood Knight. I didn't even see that in his hand.
Yeah. But the thing is, man, he has a cold blood. He can clear that pretty easily. He could deadly he could dagger, deadly poison, cold blood, the 3/3 and kill that, and then just attack his face.
Yeah, you lose a minion presence on the board. You have 2 Azure Drakes to help make it up, but again, he doesn't want to fall far behind on board pressure.
Yeah.
And that's what he's going to be concerned with at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if he just ignored this Blood Knight and kind of went about his business and took care of it in the meantime, because Trump's under a lot of pressure right here.
Okay, well, he's going to cold blood trade. So.
I want to see him go for the face so bad. I think it's a safe play to make, but oh wow, that would have been disastrous. I think I would have gone for the face there, honestly, just because I want that 7 damage in. Is he really going to swing the 6/6 back at me while I have the 7/3 on the board? Outside of Soulfire, I don't see him dealing.
Well, it turns out to be a very good play in this situation, because with that Soulfire draw, he would have been able to kill it for free, still have the 6/6 on the board. So he's looking pretty smart right now. But I definitely do understand what you're saying there. It's one of those situations that it's harder to make those decisions. But he's going to.
Oh my gosh!
This is the thing.
That is a huge draw.
It's so big because when he doesn't even have to pay any price for that. And then imagine if he draws his Doomguard the next turn as well. That is where you just give up.
Oh my gosh, that Doomguard is easily the best draw in his deck. A 5/7 is difficult for Rogue to deal with.
No discards.
And one of the ways it typically deals with this minion is to sap it, or I'm sorry, to deal with big minions is to sap it. But sapping a Doomguard in this position doesn't really accomplish anything other than it eats 5 more mana. But Trump's at the 7 mana point, so he can play almost every single card he draws and then play the Doomguard afterwards. So the fact that he's not discarding any cards here takes a lot of the potential away from StrifeCro to even effectively respond to this card.
Yeah, and I mean, StrifeCro had such a perfect start, being able to backstab the first Blood Imp, SI Agent the second Blood Imp, and now it's like, this is getting ugly, man. He's going to take so much damage this turn. I mean, do you think you just taunt up here, or do you just stop the Wolf?
I like Defender of Argus here.
Yeah, so
for no other reason, simply because it's 4 mana versus 2 mana.
Yeah, exactly. You may as well just get it down there. And I mean, that's 9 more damage. It's putting him at 11 HP and lethal next turn with what's on the board.
Right.
So when you're at 9 HP, you just can't really afford to attack the minions anymore. There's going to be 2 taunts down. Means he almost can't use his dagger. Yeah, we know he has the Blade Flurry. That can help somewhat. But then you have to trade the Blade Flurry plus the Azure Drake in to kill that Doomguard unless you draw something else. So, I mean, having a spell power out there helps. It will be able to kill off both Defenders of Argus with the Blade Flurry. But still, I just don't think there's... I think the Defender of Argus plays is very good. And it puts StrifeCro in a really tough position.
It is disrupted a lot by the fact that StrifeCro has a second Azure Drake and a Blade Flurry in his hand. So the Blade Flurry is actually going to be dealing 5 points of damage. And that's sort of what Trump is thinking about here when he decides to play this Direwolf Alpha, is that he might need to taunt up next turn instead, because it's going to get swept under the Blade Flurry anyway. Wow, backstab! Oh,
that's a huge draw,
Oh
man.
My gosh!
That changes everything.
I said these games are going to be blowouts, but with these kinds of draws, you don't see blowouts, you just see haymakers back and forth. So I'm hard pressed to find something other than Azure Drake followed by backstab and then Blade Flurry after this. That's 5 points of damage to his face, and then 4 more on the back of that Azure Drake.
Oof, ouch. Yeah,
9 points of damage this turn, and then Trump is looking at potential lethal. Just based on all the cards in the Rogue deck that deal damage, you're looking at Deadly Poison's lethal. You're looking at Leroy Jenkins is lethal, and then Eviscerate's lethal. If he has a second Cold Blood, that's lethal. It's
well,
like,
it would be
so
lethal.
much stuff
It
is
would be
happening
like
here.
lethal anyway, pretty good, because he has the 2 Drakes plus the Leroy.
Right.
And then he has a Shadow Step now, so that's already it's
Oh
already
my
lethal.
gosh.
And that backstab may have just won him the game, because without that, you have to trade the Drake or you have to take the damage to your face. Either choice sucks. And now, I mean, there's 8 damage there, plus Leroy is already dead, and he has the Shadow Step, so even if he can clear something, and I mean, he's going to taunt it up, but this is going to be game here. He's going to be able to clear the taunt, and then he can do the Leroy Shadow Step Leroy, and that is game here for StrifeCro. He had a perfect start. That backstab draw was absolutely massive, and that is going to be that as the Shadow Step will come out. Could just dagger him, finish him off. Well played is
StrifeCro's
called.
a nice guy.
Yeah.
He goes for the least amount of clicks possible. He's an efficiency sort of guy.
Yeah. Well, and he goes for the well played. I would have gone with the thanks.
Yeah.
Personally, but